Okay, we are live here, live with the leaders, with a very special guest, Carol Stephen. Hello, Carol.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel like a celebrity.
Yes.
I got my MTV t-shirt on. I definitely feel like a celebrity.
I know, think about that, right? MTV has been around for so long. I remember when I had it on the cable box where you push the little buttons.
Exactly.
Right? And it was a big thing back then. But yeah, I'm really excited. We've talked about doing this for a long time, and you've been with Miranda Real Estate Group for a number of years. And each year, Carol, you just keep getting better and better and better, kind of like a fine wine, right?
Yes. We have to evolve and transform to be better.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of great things, and I thought it'd be great because I know some of the listeners that hear this all over the country don't know who Carol Stephen is. I know who Carol Stephen is, but a lot of them don't. And you got a lot of great things to share and a lot of things that you've done to grow your business. And I thought we'd start off by sharing just a little bit of your background, how you even got into this crazy business of real estate.
Sure. So in March of 2015, it was my third time visiting with you and saying, I think I'm going to give it a shot, but this time I'm going to do it.
Right.
So previously, always in customer service, always bartending, but the biggest thing probably was 30 plus years in property management. So and that also kind of helped me into the real estate thing. But again, March of 2015, I said, this is it. I'm doing it this time.
Yeah.
No changing. Yeah. So I was born and raised in Glasgow, Scotland. My father brought us here for the American dream. We kind of ended one little stop, but ended in Clifton Park. So I've been a Saratoga County girl, I should say, other than leaving, getting married, having a family, having my son. But the bottom line is I'm kind of homegrown here in the Clifton Park area.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and one of the things that you're known for, at least every time I could probably look it up in a dictionary, the word discipline, and there's your picture right next to it, right? Like, you just very into processes, systems, but very disciplined, very diligent on what you do. I know we always joke around about walking. I love to walk. You love to walk. Obviously, you've been walking every day for years. I know you know the exact number. What is it? April
1st of 2026. It's 6 years.
Wow.
4 miles a day.
4 miles a day for 6 years straight. So that is discipline right there.
Yeah.
I go in spurts, but a lot of it, you encouraged me back then to start doing some walking and being consistent with that. And as a result of that, I've been able to get a little bit better in shape, lose some weight, and keep it off. And that's one of the things that you said. But this is also transformed into your business, I feel, too. The discipline of you walking. I mean, you're already successful in business before that, but I really feel that it has a correlation between the two because you have a lot of discipline in your work as well, as much as the personal side of things. And it all comes down to activities, right? I always say that you can't always depend on the results that you're going to get. Everyone says, I want to make 100,000 or 500,000 or whatever the number is, but the one thing that you can count on and can control is the daily activities that you do. So I thought maybe you just share some of those because I know some of the stuff that you've been doing it consistently for many years. And maybe you could share some of that, of what you actually do to help grow your business.
Absolutely. I think the important thing is to separate also the difference between motivation and the dedication, and then it's the consistency. Let me tell you, I don't want to go out and walk when it's 10 below the 4 miles, but it's the consistency. And that's the same thing with my activities. So I'm setting a forth 2 hours on a Monday, whatever it is, to make my calls. If something comes up and I have a doctor's appointment or something like that, that other hour goes to the next day, and so on and so forth. That's the consistency that I stay on that level, and I think that makes the difference. Be it the calls, be it the pop buys, be it whatever it is that you're going to do, just be consistent with it.
Right.
It's not the mindset. For me, this is my opinion. It's not your mindset. It's not your dedication to it. It's not the motivation. It's your consistency of it.
Right. And you said the motivation piece is one piece, but the discipline is what really gets it done, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, you're not going to skip it. It's so easy to skip. Most people don't even put it in their schedule, Carol. Like you have it in your schedule, just like an appointment, right?
Right.
It's like a listing appointment. You're not going to miss a listing appointment, right? Hopefully you're not. So
hopefully
you're not going to skip your calls, your Popeyes, or the activities you do. So
whatever I have on my list, I have it scheduled. And again, life happens and I get that. But I'm very consistent with following my list and blocking those times. I used to use an egg timer. That got kind of a little crazy. So now I use it on my computer. I'm on the phone and I let the alarm goes off. And it just shines a big thing. You're done. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it keeps me focused.
So you get it in.
Yes.
So some people ask, what are some of those things? I mean, we can always say calls and Popeyes and all that, but if we were getting more specific, just give us a daily, like a typical day on what you actually do.
Okay. Other than getting up, doing my exercises, walking, when I'm starting on my business, then I go into my CRM and I divide my alphabet. Again, every day is, Mondays are A through E, Tuesdays is F through M or L or whatever it is. But I also have streamlined that because there are some people with the first name, let's say Alan, and he works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Right. So Alan goes to Saturday. So see, again, you're always changing. And I think that's the key too, is to make sure that you do that. So I have that set 2 hours for my calls. And then I've got my emails, looking at all of my emails, looking at all of my client base, my listings, anything that's going on right now. I have 1 hour to do that. 1 hour. And I know that you know this about me, but there's a lot of other people that have like thousands of emails. I get out just from that. Yeah. So, but again, that's how I do it. In the beginning of the day, I also do that. And then at the end of the day, before I end my day. So whatever calls I didn't make, I'm making them after dinner. So
when you say calls, is it a specific number that you're trying to hit every day? Or is it just your range of the alphabet?
No, 50.
50 dials, outgoing dials? Yeah. Okay. So, and how many connections will you get on 50 dials usually?
It depends. It really depends on what part of the alphabet I'm working on. Maybe, the middle of the alphabet, they don't work or they work remotely and I can catch them. Some I don't catch or whatever. It's usually about I'm running about a 69-70% follow on it.
Okay, good. Yeah. And when you say, when you call them, right, obviously you're calling with some type of intention, right? Either it be a lead that you got or someone from an open house or a client that you've had for years. Who are you calling? All of the above? All of the above. But most importantly, you always have to have whatever it is you want to talk about. And again, this is how I do it. Yeah. I'm calling them, maybe I saw that their kid had a second birthday or they just lost their dog or something. Right. I always check those fields, social media and everything, before I make the call. Now, it might be a follow-up call from the week before when they said, oh, we're on vacation, call us next Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it was. Right. There's always a purpose and a reason, but it's never a sales call. I can tell you that. Yeah, that's good. So just kind of calling them in. It's a connection call. Right. I believe that's my success. Well, obviously it's working for you, and I think there's a lot of people. Your best leads are always going to be the people that know you, like you, and trust you, and then reaching out to them and getting those referrals. And I know your referrals have gone up tremendously. Yep. Over the course of the last 11 years. So we talk about lead pillars all the time, like different ways to hone in your business. Obviously, one lead pillar for you that's really important to you is your database. Yes. And without your database, right? You agree you don't have a business. Right? No, I don't. What are say 2 other main lead pillars that you use? So my other ones are my farming or my EDDM. Right. And I can tell you in the beginning, I did it for 1 year. It was very expensive. I got zip, nada. The second and third year, I didn't do it. And then I've been strategically doing it. It goes out to 1,497 houses, almost 1,500 houses every 6 weeks. I've been doing it for almost 7 years. I think this will be my 7th year. Right. And yes, I track it. And yes, I know exactly how many I get because that's the way that I am. Yeah. But I do want to go back to something you said, know, like, and trust. And I think the key for anyone in real estate is to keep that in mind, not even in real estate, just in life. Right. The know, like, and trust, right? Because if there's no connection, it doesn't matter. Right. I mean, I can get them to the finish line, but if they didn't like me from day one and we just went through the process, it doesn't matter how many pies, how many times I stop by, how many times I call them, they didn't like me. Right. I think I've said this to you for years and years since you hired Trish, your executive assistant. Yeah. She's a ray of sunshine. Right. She's a ray of sunshine. That's how I feel when I talk to Trish. Tina, our office manager, I know she's got my back.
I know I'm covered, right?
Right.
So that's how she makes me feel. She makes me feel valued. So do you have that connection with your client? I can make all the calls I want. At the end of the day, if they don't like me, why would they do business with me?
Right.
Know, like, and trust. Make the connection.
So we call those the D clients, right? The D clients that no one wants to talk with again or do business with. Do you have a lot of those in your database?
I do not.
Oh, that's good.
I do not.
Yeah.
I probably get about 2 to maybe 5 a year. But the important thing is, like I said, if you're making a sales call, I don't understand that. So I can't talk to that. I make a connection call.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and that's the difference. The pillar, the other one that I have is my reviews. And the reviews are the referrals. And I always say this, and I haven't done it, but now I'm saying it publicly, so I guess I better be accountable to it. I really should start tracking the ones, the people that I work with that say during the first few times, I can't wait to give you the best review, because there's so many people that just want to give them to me. I don't even have to ask them. I do have a system, I do have a process, but again, it goes back to when you've got that connection, they want to give it to you. It's genuine.
Right.
You know, I feel strongly about this whole business. And even I have a friend who's in car sales. He does the same thing. It's the connection. It's not the sales.
Right. It's going above and beyond. It's asking the right questions. It's being sincere and authentic too.
Right.
You know, which you are. And I've seen you with clients. And
Yeah.
I've seen you at point of sale with people. And you treat them like friends right off the rip.
It's genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know me. I'm not going to like your sweater and say I like your sweater if I don't like your sweater.
Right.
I'm just not made that way. But I think most importantly, that's why I've had the success that I have had. Because I am genuine and I do make the connection. And if there isn't a connection, guess what? You're probably not going to be my client.
Right. Right. And you're not going to keep calling them and you're just going to move on. And there's
And they're
plenty
not getting a pie. And
Right.
you know what I mean?
But anyway, so your center of influence, number one, your database. Number two, your every door direct.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Huge.
And you're right, it's consistency. And I do remember, because I believe it was, what's out Farm to Market Road? What's the name
Dater
of it?
Farm.
Dater Farms. You
Oh,
did
yeah?
it a couple times. You're like, I didn't get crap off of it.
I did it 8 times. Let's not.
Yeah.
8 times.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I was like, I got nothing.
I remember that.
And then, again, it was like 2 years later, and
Yeah.
then I started walking around and I started talking to people, and I was like, you know what? I keep getting this in my mailbox.
Right. Must
What
be
the
working.
heck? Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's back to the consistency. I think it should be probably 2 C's so far. Yeah, connection and consistency.
Yeah. So you got COI, got the EDDM, and then the last one was the Zillow reviews. Now, I looked on your Zillow review. I think you have 175 now.
Yeah, I think I've got
5-star?
176 or 177. Yeah.
So that's great. And people do really, you know, if you get a couple different takeaways, I'm sure everyone will get from this, but those reviews are huge. Talk a little about that. I mean, did
Yeah.
you see a difference getting those versus not getting
Yes. But I also learned how to look into each one of the review processes. Like Zillow cares about 2 things: the address that was sold or bought. That's it.
them? Right.
Google requires a Gmail account. That's it. That's all they care about. So once you know that, then you can work off of that. But I also, like I said, I have my systems and processes. If I meet you and you say, I just found you on Zillow, I put a Z on your file. It's that simple. Again, do it your way, but this is how I do it. Or I just read your Google reviews, and then it's a G. So I know they're going to give that to me.
Right.
Also, if I'm out showing you a house and you talk about a restaurant you went to and it was horrible, even though they had 47 Google reviews that were all great, it was horrible. And then I bring in then you won't mind because I'm awesome. You'll give me a Google review. So it's, you know what I mean? But it's always very, very genuine. And that's what I like.
And that's what you do too. Like a lot of agents don't understand. It's not at the end of the transaction. You started from, I feel, from almost day one.
First phone call.
Yeah. Like you're already planting in your seed. Like my goal is that you're going to be so happy with deliver, that you're going to give me a 5-star review. Like, you actually say that.
Right, because this is my business. This is my job. So
Right.
if you call me because Susie Q referred you, I bring up how I got Susie Q.
Right.
Again, I probably don't have to, but I do it because, again, it comes back around, because then it's genuine and it's from their heart. Like I said, I've got to start tracking it. I don't know how many people I've met in 2025 that have said, I'm going to give you the best review ever. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is our first showing and you're going to give me, yeah.
That's good. Well, hey, it's well deserved.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Let's talk about lead gen. No, we already talked about that. The CRM you mentioned in the database. It's a question I get all the time, and what's the best database and what's the best CRM? How would you answer that?
It's always the same one you're going to use.
Yeah, right.
If you use pieces of paper, use pieces of paper.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't have a CRM probably until my first 3 years, and then I got Top Producer, and then I got a few other ones. I use Realtor Juggler because it's easy for me. It's user friendly for me. Mm-hmm. It's what I need. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I need it to work, and that's what it does.
Right.
And go back to the Scottish, it's very affordable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't use it, it's $179 annually.
Right.
And it can't change. I got in 2018. It hasn't changed. It's $179. It's not going up.
No, it stays the same.
It stays the same.
When you're in your CRM, are you going in it every day, or are you going in it
every day?
Okay. And what are you doing? Are you just calling from there and putting notes?
Right. And I'm also calling, and when I'm doing my notes now, they have an AI factor, so I can actually, if I'm doing a call, if I put it on speakerphone, it just
nice.
Puts it in for me.
It makes it nice and easy.
Yes.
Let's talk about contribution. You do a ton of stuff with charities. You do a ton of stuff with giving back, not only to local charities like the golf tournament. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I know you've been a titanium member now for going on 9 years, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
And I know you also do a lot of things with your clients and actually helping them give to their charities as well. Can you explain that program?
Sure. So when you close with me and we get to the finishing table, whatever the finishing line, whatever it is, buying or selling, I'm going to donate $500 to the charity of your choice. Now, years ago, I used to give money to the charity of my choice, and it used to be very quiet and I didn't tell anybody. And then after 2020, I realized I was doing a bunch of stuff in my life to try to impress people, a lot of stuff. 2020 was a change for me, and I started wanting to implement making a difference. And to make a difference, I give $500 to the charity of every single one of my clients' choice at the closing. And what it does for me, besides makes me feel good, it lets them know that I care about them and what they're thinking about and what they feel would be a good cause.
Right.
And it's a wide range, very wide range. But I think the other thing too is it lets you be human.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, I strive all the time not to be a salesperson. Mm-hmm. I'm a realtor, but I want to be human.
Right.
And not a sales.
Yeah, and very generous too. There's a lot of agents that won't put $25 out of their paycheck to give to a charity or a cause, and you're actually giving $500 on each closing, which is amazing. So you do a great job with that. And I know you also do a lot of stuff with the staff here at the office too, because talk about that. What would you say with the impact that the staff's had on your business and support?
Well, like I said, about Trish and about Tina, and Ev keeps me in line. She keeps all of us in line. But still, the entire staff, I think the key word these days, or the last couple of years, has always been about culture. Culture.
Right.
I've never thought of Miranda as culture. I've thought of it as a community. Mm-hmm. I used to think of it as like a restaurant, and you get an a la carte, and you can choose if you want pancakes today for dinner or whatever. You can choose how much training and not, right? And that's what community means to me. Not just the training, but just the staff here. They're my peeps.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the key also to my success. Like I said, I know Tina's got my back.
Right.
I just give her a call. even though I'm supposed to email her. I can get in trouble. But anyway, I think the important thing is to find your peeps, find your family, find what works for you. Again, I can't stress that enough in any business, but especially in real estate. Don't try to do, you can copy my business plan, you can copy your scripts,
right.
You can copy all of that. You know what you can't copy is someone's heart. My heart is of service.
Right.
So at the end of the day, find where your heart is.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. Find your why, right? Mm-hmm. But when you find your why, go deeper. Why is it the why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why are you going to networking events? And why are you going here? Not saying there's anything wrong with that, because, again, I do network. And matter of fact, just last week, I met with 3 colleagues. I've been meeting for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
Because they raise me up. I raise them up. Mm-hmm. We educate each other. We share. I meet with 3 other groups besides those that are in the field and not in the field. And it's always about making sure I'm a better human being today than I was yesterday. And I think that comes from, especially here at Miranda, the community that you get. You just, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know you've been with these groups for a while, and it's great accountability. But it's also a great friendship you guys built over the years, and you guys trust each other, so you could share things and feel comfortable doing that. So that's great to hear. And you're right. There's a lot of companies that are out there that don't offer that type of environment or don't have that community, and it's like you're on your own island, and it has a major effect on the overall results a lot of times of their business.
Right? It absolutely does, and especially, like I said, if you want it, the training's here. You could take it or not take it. If you're new and you need all of it, if you're a veteran and you don't need it at all, and you only want to pick and choose, that's what you can do here. But I've always felt that way from day one. And I think the other thing that's very important is, this is all good information, but without implementation,
You're right.
It's meaningless.
It's true.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're right.
All these individuals that go to these places and get these trainings, and they've got binders and they've got 25 pages of notes and everything. What did you implement?
Right.
What did you do?
Did you execute?
All of my 4 groups that I meet on a monthly basis, they keep me accountable.
Right. They'll ask you, did you do this? Hey, you said you're going to do this. No, I didn't do it. Why?
And they also don't cloud my vision. And I think that's what happens with a lot of new realtors. They let other people cloud your vision. Find out your why. Dig down deeper. Why is it? And what are the actions that you have to take to get to that why? Is it your first home? Is it your first $25,000? Is it your first $50,000? Whatever it is. And then surround yourself with people that will get your vision and help you get to that vision. But not cloud your vision with their thoughts or their expectations. And that's what I've done in the 11 years of being here at Miranda.
That's great advice. You know, it's a lot of shiny objects out there too. And a lot of agents don't know, is this a good thing for me to do? Is this a bad thing? Or, like you said, they try postcards for a few months. Geez, that didn't work. And then they go to something else, and they go to something else, something else, instead of just staying committed and consistent with what we know works, right?
Right.
And one of the questions I had in here, what advice, there's so many new agents that are getting into this business, a lot of great new agents that I've seen come up the ranks recently, but also some agents that are just uninformed and are looking for advice, right? They're looking for that experienced agent to say, hey, what should I do first, second, and third to get my business off the ground? And, you know, knowing what you know now and being really solid in this for the last 11 years, what advice could you give to a new agent moving forward, and what would be those 2 or 3 things you'd say to them?
Again, I think the most important thing is to find out your why.
Right.
Is it because your sister-in-law is a realtor and she drives a fancy car and she got a mansion and that's what you want? Then I don't know. What are the activities that are going to get you to that, as those are the things that are important to you. But I also think that you've got to get curious. Like you said, there's a lot of people that gravitate to this, that, and whatever, we call them a squirrel.
Right.
It's okay to be a squirrel, but at least implement. Give it a try.
Right.
See if it works. Again, make sure it's good for you. People say all the time, oh, I don't want to do videos. I don't like doing videos. Cool, don't do videos. I'm really good at Popeyes. Then be consistent at the Popeye.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you have call reluctance, find the other pillar then and be consistent on it. You can't be lackadaisical on all 3 of your pillars or all 8 of your pillars because you don't like videos or you don't like calling. So again, for me, I think get curious, right? Try stuff. And then talk to people and tell them your story. But just make sure you surround yourself with people that are looking to help you. Okay? Right. I'm not talking about using people. I'm talking about not clouding your vision. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I think that's what you guys say.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I think, you mentioned a lot of different things just now as far as you could do this, you could do this, you could do that. Pick a lane. It all works. It's just what you're going to do long term and stay committed to. Right?
If you're very crafty and you like doing Popeye little things, then do it, but do it consistent.
Right.
Pick a neighborhood. Right. Do it every Tuesday, whatever it is. But don't say, well, I did that last Tuesday and that didn't work.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
The name of the game is consistency.
Yeah.
But number 1, know your why. Dig down and figure out the activities that are going to get you your why. But a lot of people get in this business for money, free schedule, free up their schedule. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
No. Well, I know that you do a lot of business with agents outside of our market too. You get a lot of referrals here. And there's going to be some agents that are going to watch this from all over the country. So if someone was trying to get a hold of you, they wanted to talk, maybe even someone local that just wanted to pick your brain, but most people are looking for a good agent here in the Capital District. How would they get a hold of you?
Well, my website is carolsteven.com. Can't get any more simple than that.
Yeah, we'll put it down on the screen.
Yeah, and 518-522-0547. And the Gmail is the same, 522-0547 @gmail.com.
Well, awesome. Well, hey, I know that last year was your best year in real estate. And I know that the best is still yet to come for you.
Sure is.
Right? So Thank you so much. I appreciate all you do.
You're welcome.
And looking forward to sending this podcast out to everyone. And if you have any questions, give Carol a call. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks.